This won't hurt me, will it?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Despite losing my will to continue van lifing full time, I have to say that these last 2 months have probably been the best out of our entire time living on the road. You could chalk that up to us being the most expert at van life now than ever before.
how's it going, Ryan?
A little stressful.
And you could say that because we're making plans to transition out of the van, I'm feeling more appreciative of this finite part of our lives. And those are both definitely true. But it's the near daily skiing that I'm giving all of the credit to. Since this past summer, we've been planning for and committing to a winter in the mountains. After our short experience ski van lifing last winter, we realized we really enjoyed skiing more than our regular 5 to 10 days a year. Enough to run it back and spend an entire winter living in a winterized van. That means no plumbing.
Completely a block of ice.
We started telling people that we were going to try to ski for 100 days this season, which was a total moonshot. I'll tell you right now, there's no way we hit that. But we have ridden for about 40 days thus far, which is more than either of us ever have before. And we've noticed a few things. We're both getting better, we feel more in control and more confident as we navigate new terrain. We are more active than maybe ever before. I mean, we're riding the mountain for a good 2 to 6 hours a day, multiple days a week. And it feels good to be outside. It just feels good. You can yell and it doesn't matter because you're outside.
Woo! Woo! Almost lost it!
And most of all, we love chasing each other around the mountain. Ryan and I are a very good match for each other. I am definitely faster, but he can do a lot more tricks and bigger jumps.
Yeah!
Every day we're spending on the mountain feels like an exhilarating game of tag with your crush during recess in elementary school. So yeah, these might be the best months in the van to date. We started in the Colorado mountains. We hit Vail, Keystone, Breckenridge, Eldora, Steamboat, Winter Park, and Beaver Creek. Notable mentions include the first powder days of the season at Keystone and Breck. We quickly built up an endurance for spending 4 to 6 hours a day running around the mountain. Shout out to Keystone for having some incredible tree runs. In February, we started to expand our radius and headed to Jackson Hole, Big Sky, Sun Valley, Brighton, Solitude, Snowbird, and Park City. Our first day at Jackson Hole had 8+ inches of fresh snow, which continued to dump while we rode the tram, which dropped us into a whiteout at the peak of the mountain. It was an intimidating first impression, followed by 3 incredibly fun and sweaty days. We're already planning to go back. Big Sky stole our hearts. Great terrain options, and again, we were lucky enough to enjoy a fresh layering of powder. I've never been colder in my entire life. I'm not sure once during our time in Montana was I ever not cold, but I had the best time. The runs were so long, like 3,000 vertical feet, which made the days a bit of an endurance challenge and a non-stop good time. Bozeman was van friendly, which means it was relatively easy to find overnight parking, and a fun city to explore. We indulged and ate out twice. Feed Cafe and Blackbird did not disappoint. Overall, 11 out of 10 experience. Ryan took a tumble. Unfortunately, during Ryan's last run at Snowbird, he caught an edge, flipped himself about, and tweaked his knee. When this happened, I was taking a work call from the van, and was surprised to see Ryan show up mid-video call. I tried to communicate with him through the closed van door while wearing my noise-canceling headphones. Somehow, it was not clear to me that he was mouthing, "I am hurt," while his face was covered in blood. Why didn't I know that was blood on his face, you ask? I don't know. Something looked off, but it was hard to put my finger on it, while trying to earn some money through an honest day's work. I mean, someone's got to keep this train on the tracks. All that said, he's fine. Mostly. The cut on his face was an existing cut that got reopened, making things look a whole lot worse than they actually were. His knee, on the other hand, we're waiting and seeing. We think it might be a light sprain and are headed to Moab for a few days for him to recoup and not be tempted to get back out on the mountains. Cross your fingers that this was not a season ender for our guy Rye. We met another internet person. On our way from Sun Valley, Idaho to Salt Lake City, Utah, we stopped at an internet stranger's house to film a video for Instagram. Rich had reached out to us via Skatewives a few months ago, and so we connected after a few DMs when we were back in his area. If you're like me, you probably can't help but think, stranger danger, hello! But lucky for us, Rich is fun to hang out with, and our collaboration video came pretty easily. And that's showbiz, baby. Well, it's whatever this is, showbiz. I digress. The numbers. With a lot of the season having already passed, we figured we'd throw out some year-to-date stats for y'all. Days on the mountain, Ryan had 49, Emily had 38. For vertical feet, Ryan had 728,000, Emily had 538,000. And we drove a total of 3,891 miles. Things we've made. Coming up on a couple of months without traditional employment, and over a year without a traditional home/lifestyle, we found that we might actually be creative people. I don't mean to minimize any creative out there, or brush over the fact that Ryan has always been a creative at heart. More so, we've found that we not only are enjoying our adventures, but we're enjoying making something out of our adventures in a way that it is a fun adventure in itself. Of course, we've been making a number of things on Instagram, but we've also started making a few things on YouTube. And I started a podcast. What's this? It's a conversational, interview-style podcast where I talk to the significant others of elite athletes, hearing about their experience being in a relationship with their professional athlete partner and the sport or activity their partner does. I've been shocked and delighted to have the pleasure of talking to many partners of Olympians and extreme sport athletes. Curious about the life of a bobsledder? Check out my podcast. Wondering about dating that cute skier or snowboarder? Check out my podcast. Have a thing for NHL players, but not sure what that life looks like? My podcast. And yeah, of course, I also talk to actual skatewives. Sorry, Rye, you and I are just amateurs. And I'm wrapping up season 1 soon. Looking forward to starting off an awesome season 2. And that's it. I think that's all we've got for you this month. Check out the written version of this piece on Substack, linked in the description, and subscribe here or follow us on Instagram for more. And it just snowed, we'll call it 6 to 8 inches overnight, but it's still snowing, so we're excited.
You guys hurry up, there's some pretty big scat out there. Poop, animal poop.
You gonna go check out the poop?
Duh.
Come look at these logs.
This guy broke a little.
We're in the middle of Colorado, a landlocked state.
You can't say that.
And you brought sushi to the mountain?
You can't say that. You want one?
Yeah. Thanks.